Welcome to part 4 of What If James Potter Were to Survive Voldemort's Original Attack on Harry. Quick little recap here. So basically, Voldemort goes to the Potter home, casts a spell at James, possibly knocking him out, missing him entirely, and not focused really if he hit him or not, because he's just in a rage and just kind of casts the spell, runs up the stairs. Lily jumps his way and says, "No, not Harry, no, not Harry," and Lily dies. Casts Avada Kedavra on Harry, spell backfires, and Voldemort obviously disappears. James goes to check up on Peter Pettigrew. He's not there. He fears the worst. He goes to check up on his buddy James and finds the house in shambles, and there finds Harry and James still alive. And then Hagrid shows up, and James and Sirius give Harry to Hagrid and say take him to Dumbledore. We'll be back, and they go hunt down Pettigrew. Pettigrew unfortunately gets away by turning into a rat and still ends up with the Weasleys. Come year 1 at Hogwarts, basically the Sorcerer's Stone still exists, and Harry, Hermione, and Ron still go down to the 3rd floor corridor and try to get the Sorcerer's Stone before Professor Quill, who does have Voldemort on the back of his head, gets it. Very similar to the first original book. The only difference is when Harry looks into the mirror Erised, he only sees his mother, not his father, because his father's still alive. Book 2, Chamber of Secrets, does happen the same way. The only issue is that Harry doesn't know he can talk to snakes because he never went to the zoo with the Dursleys, because he didn't go up with the Dursleys because he grew up with his father. So a little miscommunication there. Still thinks he's the heir of Slytherin, but now this time he has Sirius and his father to kind of talk to. Prison of Azkaban is just a normal year. Lupin is still the teacher, and he recognizes, well, see, in the video I discussed Prison of Azkaban, I talked about how Peter got away. Again. No. Screw that. Pettigrew's dead. I'm going to change my story. Pettigrew is dead. Lupin recognizes him. They charge, and Pettigrew's dead. But how is Professor Charlie's prophecy going to come to pass? Well, that is because it's still a prophecy, so it's still going to come to pass. There's still one other Death Eater who returns to his master, and that is Barty Crouch Jr. He's just going to do it sooner than he does in the books. And Goblet of Fire still going to steal Harry's wand from the Quidditch World Cup, but this time he's already met up with Lord Voldemort. Then Triwizard Tournament still happens. This time Harry has other people to talk to and is able to figure out the task a little more easier than waiting until, the last minute before, where Dobby appears and says, "Hey, I have gillyweed. You get at the lake in 5 minutes. Go." So he enters the task a little better and still ends up in the graveyard with Cedric Diggory, where Cedric Diggory still unfortunately dies. Now going into Order of the Phoenix. How differently does Order of the Phoenix go? Well, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's find out. one difference in Order of the Phoenix that we start off with is that Harry doesn't live with the Dursleys because his father is still alive. So Harry, in the original book, gets Dementors sent on him by Dolores Umbridge, where he needs to use the Patronus charm to defend. Then he gets in trouble by the Ministry and has to go to court and all this other stuff. And he's frustrated because everybody's not answering him and just pissing him off all summer. Well, in this case, James and Sirius are, discussing with Harry, look, we can't talk about this with you at the moment, but we need to go. Sirius still uses his home at 12 Grimmauld Place for the headquarters of Order of the Phoenix. So Sirius is there getting stuff prepped up so Order of the Phoenix can come together. Harry goes home for the summertime with his father, and Sirius is not there because Sirius is at Grimmauld Place doing this and that. So James takes Harry to 3 Privet Drive with Vernon and Petunia Dursley. He explains to the Dursleys that he needs to stay here for a couple days with Harry. He's going to be running off in, a couple times during the day. He'll be back at nighttime though. And then it's only for a week. And then after that week is up, he's going to bring Harry with him. And I'm going to take care of a few things. Harry is excited in a way. He's like, okay, well, what's going on? Dad, why can't you tell me what's going on? And he says, I will. Give it a week. I just have to prep a few things first. And Harry's like, is this about Voldemort coming back? He says, yes. It's about Voldemort coming back. I promise you, I'll tell you in a week. Let me just take care of a few things, talk to Dumbledore, and figure a few things out first. Why are we staying at the Dursleys? Well, because it's just safer at the moment. It's so safe at the moment. And at least if I need to run out, at least there's someone here watching during the day. Well, Harry's excited kind of because he's like, I haven't seen my cousin ever, because for some reason they don't want to see us. Vernon is a little pissed off. Doesn't want to see them. Doesn't allow them to access the home. However, Dumbledore shows up and threatens Petunia. Very similar way about protection and this and that. Also, we still have Mrs. Fig and what's his name? That stupid jerk, McDungus Fletcher, watching over the house as well. So a week goes by. James leaves every day, but is always home at night to be with his son James. His son Harry. Now, on the last day, Harry goes to the park with Dudley. Dudley's like, this is cool, because he doesn't know how Harry is. He's like, okay, well, I don't know why my dad doesn't let us hang out. We're cousins. We should, get to know each other. So Harry and, Dudley are at the park. Harry finds out Dudley's kind of a jerk and beats up 8-year-olds. Stuff like that. And things start getting dark. Harry doesn't know what's going on. Harry starts to hear a woman scream. Not sure what it was. And then he hears, "No, not Harry. Take me instead. Step aside, silly girl." And so confused, doesn't know what's going on. He says, "Dudley, we gotta go." They start running down Magnolia Crescent, and Harry sees this hooded black figure at the end of the alley coming towards him. He hears the girl scream again, starts hearing what seems like a dream, and he realizes, why am I having this image of my mother getting attacked by Voldemort? Why? This hooded figure reaches toward Dudley. Harry says, "Watch out." Dudley says, "For what? What is going on?" The hooded figure picks up Dudley, and Harry says, "Dudley, get out of there." And Dudley goes, "What is going on? How am I being lifted off the ground?" At that point, Harry realizes that Dudley can't see it. It must be a Wizarding World thing. So, at this point, because Harry grew up with his father and Sirius, he probably heard of Dementors, but never actually seen one in action, so he's not really sure what's going on. Next thing you know, Harry starts feeling faint and starts to pass out. In his squinted vision, he sees a silver stag running down the alleyway, taking out both Dementors and slamming them to the ground and scaring them away. Then he is able to open his eyes and sees his father putting his hand out to help him up. Then he helps up Dudley and explains to Dudley what happened. Dudley's okay. He's not. He's a little off like he was in the original, but he'll be okay. And because magic was used and the trace doesn't make sense, they can't tell you who cast the magic. They just tell you that, hey, underage magic muggle area spell was casted. We know that because in the original Chamber of Secrets, Dobby creates the hover charm, and they think it's Harry because just hover charm was created in his vicinity. So Patronus charm was created in Muggle vicinity in front of Harry and Dudley, and Harry still gets a letter. And for some reason, they know he's at Privet Drive just because the Ministry, well, they track it there. So he gets a letter, and he says, "Okay, don't worry about it. We'll take care of this." And James takes Harry away, explains to the Dursleys he'll be fine. Just give him lots of chocolate. He'll be fine. Give him chocolate. He's a fat boy. He can handle it. And wow, I'm way into this video, and it's not even through like the first couple chapters yet. Jeez. All right, so James takes Harry to Grimmauld Place. He finally finds out what has been going on. He finds out the Order of Phoenix. He sees Ron and Hermione, and because his father is still alive, the conversation about, you know, what Harry can know and not know, it's a little more detailed about what's going on, because James says, "Molly, stop. I am his father. Okay? I can tell him whatever I want." "No, Dumbledore said not to. Dumbledore said we can't." "Molly, are you his mother?" "No, I am his father. You are a great friend. You take care of my son whenever he's around. I appreciate that." And Molly's like, "Well, he needs a mother figure in his life, and I would like to be that." And James is like, "Well, Sirius is more like a mother to Harry." Sirius gives James a dirty look. Hey. Anyway, just a little joke there. So now we have Harry going to court saying way this and that, still getting off because his father's there with him in court and explains this and that, and they still kind of don't believe him, this and that, whatever. Obviously this is only the first offense, but the ministry's the ministry, and they kind of push it, and I'm sure Doris Umbridge foot some paperwork to kind of push it in. Anyway, so Harry asked his dad, like, you know, the Dementors, like, what was that? I saw like this silver stag. Did you say that you could turn to a stag? Because I'm sure at this point now, you know, Harry has the map, and his dad's like, that's my map, and explaining all that stuff to him. And his dad tells him that's the Patronus. So throughout the summertime, his dad, when they have some free time, teaches his son how to cast Patronus, and he is able to. Just like the original, it takes him a few tries, but Harry's able to cast the Patronus, and sure enough, it is a stat. Sure enough, Harry's Patronus is a doe, just like his mother Lily's Patronus was in fact a doe as well. And we know Snape's is a doe because he was in love with Lily. So Harry with Patronus, find out a little more about the Order of Phoenix, and it is now off to school, where we're this time around going to that's that book. No man. So obviously the Order of Phoenix is stationed somewhat on the school, but not really, because the ministry is stepping in, because Dolores Umbridge is back, unfortunately. And the rest of the school year kind of plays out very similar. Harry still has the dream about Arthur Weasley getting attacked by Nagini, so they still go to the hospital. James is there, Sirius is there, and they're trying to figure it out. And where Harry starts his occupancy lessons, so everything mostly plays out the same. The only difference is now Harry can talk to Sirius and James whenever he wants to, and not have to kind of be sneaky, like, oh, I can't talk about Sirius because he's a wanted felon, and you know, he'd be locked up if they found out who he was. Now, during Christmas time, his father gives him a mirror and says, this is a very special mirror. Me and Sirius use this all the time back in school to communicate. If you can't get in touch with us for the reason, because you know Dolores Umbridge is being a bitch, and basically communication, certain things that you want to discuss, may not be able to discuss, talk to us through the mirror, we'll answer. The story goes on and on and on. Harry gets in trouble by Dolores Umbridge and still has to write lines and cut into his arm, but he refuses to say anything once again to Ron and Hermione, and doesn't even tell James or Sirius about it, just because he's like, you know what, stick to my guns, take down this bitch, and we will, yeah, because he's staying up for what he believes in, because Voldemort's back. She says, don't tell a lie. He's like, were you there? No. She'll shut up. And yeah, I need a quick drink though, so real quick, go to repsports.com. That's REPPsports.com. Use code Johnny Who, you save yourself 50% off the best damn energy drink you'll ever have. and back to our regular programming. With all this going on, Harry starts having this dream about the corridor and everything else, just like he did in the original book. Not sure why or what. Actually, except this time, he knows the prophecy. Well, not necessarily prophecy. His father told him the weapon, it's something that will help Voldemort rise to power, and if we can get it before he does, it won't stop him completely, but it will delay him tremendously. And this thing is located in Ministry of Magic, so he can't just go in there and steal it. He needs to figure out a way to get to it. Hermione's telling Harry, you need to stop this because you're somehow looking for the weapon. I don't know how you know where it is, but your mind is looking for the weapon, and he's using you to find it so he can get it. And Harry's like, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's hard to explain. And then Harry sees his father in the hallway. Voldemort creeping his wand towards him, threatening to take his life unless he tells him where it is. Where is it? And Harry starts freaking out. He says, Hermione, he's got my father. And Hermione's like, what are you talking about? He says, he's got my father. Now, at this point in the story, like I said, the story goes basically the same. Harry still gets kicked off the Quidditch team, all that stuff. Basically, the same thing happens at school. Except this time now it's his father instead of Sirius in the vision. And he says, what are you talking about? To him, he goes, I need to communicate with him somehow. I need to figure out how to get in touch with him. So Sirius wants to, Sirius James, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Harry. Harry runs up to his dorm, grabs his mirror, says, Dad, are you there? No answer. He says, Dad, come on, I need you. He's not there. He says, Hermione, he's not answering. He's not talking to the mirror. He's not there. We need to find out if he's there. It's an emergency. So they start talking, and Luna comes with the plan of, why don't you use Umbridge's fire? And he says, that's a great idea. We need to distract. So he picks off a distraction, and he puts his head in the fire. Quick second backtrack. Harry did this once before as well because he wanted, well, actually no, he's never done it before. This is the first time doing it. Harry did see the memories of his father, Sirius stuff, in the what's it called? The pensive. And this time when he talked to the mirror, he talked to his father and Sirius, and they explained a few things, and he felt a little better about it hearing it from his dad himself. So yeah, that's taken care of. So distract the Dolores Umbridge. They break into her office. He sticks his head in the fire and ends up at Grimmauld Place and starts yelling, Dad, Sirius, anybody, is anybody here? And Creature shows up, and Harry goes, where's my dad? And he just very simply goes, he's not here. Because during Christmas time, Sirius still told Creature to get out, and he still went to the Bellatrix's. He went to Bellatrix, and the same thing happens where he basically injures Buckbeak to get Sirius out of the room. And honestly, Sirius was up in the room taking care of Buckbeak because Buckbeak is still there. Which is kind of upsetting that we never see Buckbeak again in the film. Like, you know, go up place, like, go up there and say, "Hey, Buckbeak, what's up?" Open the door, see him. Sure love to see Harry again. Come on, man. Okay. So then, James just had to leave for some reason. So he's out of the house. He probably gave the mirror to Sirius and said, "Hey, look, you know, if Harry calls, go ahead and answer it." And then Sirius put the mirror down, went to go take care of Buckbeak because he was injured. So James is out of the house. Harry's freaking out, thinking, "Oh my God, it's true." And Dolores Umbridge pulls his head out of the fire. This and that. Same thing happens. Sirius comes in and says, "Well, I don't have any more of that soon because you used it all turning soon." Because yes, the DA is still alive. The DA is still active, and Harry's still the teacher. And Harry says the same thing, except this time he says, "Pongs, Pongs. They have Pongs at the place where it's hidden." They go to the woods, this and that. They fight to the ministry. Same thing as us stewards. They try to get the prophecy. They have to get a prophecy from the Death Eaters. And sure enough, Sirius, James, Tonks, Lupin show up and start fighting off the Death Eaters, this and that. And James, Sirius, and Harry all have their backs fighting off Death Eaters. James says, "Harry, get out of here. Get out of here now. You need to move. We got this." So Harry's trying to get his friends. They're trying to struggle. And Neville drops the prophecy just like he did in the original, and it breaks, and nobody hears it over the crowd of fighting. And Neville goes, "Harry, I'm sorry." He goes, "I don't care. Let's just go. Let's get out of here." And Harry's thinking, well, it's broken. At least Voldemort can't get to it. We're good. And he hears a cackle, Bellatrix, right next to him, casting spells. Harry falls over. And in the back, I hears, "No!" Sirius jumping at Bellatrix, casting spells. And then, green light. And Sirius crumples to the floor. Harry devastated. Lupin has to hold him back and says, "No, it's it's okay." And same thing as Stu. Dumbledore shows up, fight kind of stops. Voldemort shows up, fights Dumbledore, possesses Harry, finds out he really can't because it hurts too much, and then she comes and sees that Voldemort is back. And unfortunately, Sirius still dies. But at least he's got his father. I was thinking about it. I could be like, "Oh, well, James dies there, Sirius, and Sirius stays there." Well, the whole story's about James surviving. I can't do that. That would just be horrible. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Before you go, make sure you check out that video and that video, because that one is like the next video in the series. Yeah.